Hi, I'm Dr. Russ, and I'd like to talk to you for just a moment about the big picture of this course. That is, where does this course fit in the context of your whole academic program? One goal of this course is to prepare you to write a thesis in year 4. Let's look at the diagram down at the bottom. In your early semesters at the LICC, you took English 1 and English 2. They were requirements before you could take this course, the academic writing course. Later in your program, you will take various research methodology courses, probably an introduction to statistics course, maybe a quantitative methodology course, or a qualitative methodology course. Then finally, in your final year, you will work on your thesis. What is a thesis? A thesis is a report that documents a research study. And what is a research study? Research is a process of steps used to collect and analyze information to increase our understanding of a topic or issue. Okay, we just said that research was a process. What is that process? In general, it has 6 steps: identifying a research problem, reviewing the literature to learn more about the problem and what has been done to solve it in the past, specifying the purpose for research, collecting data, analyzing and interpreting the data, and then finally reporting on what the research found and evaluating it in terms of what its implications are. The process of preparing a thesis involves first planning the study, and at the LICC, that means writing a proposal and presenting it to an advisor and possibly a faculty committee. Then, after receiving approval to conduct the study, the student completes the study and defends it before a faculty committee. Now, not all schools require a thesis defense. And our programs are always changing, so you'll need to talk to your thesis advisor when that time comes to see whether or not you'll need to defend yours. So what goes on in the proposal step? A thesis proposal is a plan for a research report initiated and developed before the research actually begins. The purpose of a proposal is to help an investigator think through all the aspects of the study and anticipate problems. A proposal also provides a written document that faculty and advisors can read, evaluate, and critique to improve a study before it's conducted. You recall those 6 steps in the process of research. Those steps end with the development of a written report of your research. A research report is a completed study that reports an investigation or exploration of a problem. It identifies questions to be addressed, and it includes the data collected, analyzed, and interpreted by the researcher. The research report is composed for a specific audience. It varies in length and format, and it can differ for quantitative and qualitative research. This slide shows the format of a proposal for a thesis at the LICC. The first part of the thesis is the introduction. It gives the background to the study, the statement of the problem, and then various parts of it are different depending upon whether you're doing a quantitative or qualitative study. It will contain the purpose for a qualitative study and the aim and objectives for an experimental, that is, a quantitative study. It will have one or more research hypotheses for an experimental study or research questions for a qualitative study. It will have the justification of the study if it's an experimental study, or the significance of the study if it's a qualitative study. It will describe the scope and limitation of the study. It will contain a definition of key terms, and it will describe the organization of the study. Chapter 2 is the literature review. And you did a literature review in this course. The introduction presents the current state of knowledge on the topic. Then the main body contains crucial findings from other research studies done in the past on the topic. And for a qualitative study, it will also contain a literature review of topics related to the research problem. Chapter 3 is the research methodology. This is where you specify the research design and treatment for experimental studies. It's also where you describe the study area for experimental studies or the population for a qualitative study. And you'll present the sampling size and technique, along with data collection and data collection procedures and data analysis procedures. Once your proposal has been approved and you go ahead and conduct the study, you'll write the rest of the report. Chapter 4 will contain the data presentation and analysis for an experimental study, or it will contain the data analysis and discussion of findings for a qualitative study. Chapter 5 will contain the summary, conclusions, and recommendations. And then the thesis will conclude with a series of references, just like we had in our bibliography, and possibly a series of appendices that provide additional information about the study. So let's review the research process you will use for your thesis. First, you'll write a proposal, which consists of chapters 1, 2, and 3. Then you will conduct your study and write the rest of the report, which consists of chapters 4 and 5. So guess what? Writing a thesis is simply academic writing, which is what we've been doing in this course. The only major difference is there's a lot more writing. We did a college paper with an introduction, body, and conclusion. It was somewhere around 12 to 20 pages long, and you had 8 or more references in it. A thesis can be quite long, perhaps 30, 40 or more pages. It consists of 5 chapters. The introduction chapter is very similar to the introduction in the normal paper. Chapters 2, 3, and 4 comprise the body of the paper, and chapter 5 is the conclusion of the paper. So all the skills you've learned in this academic writing course, everything you've done in this academic writing course, were practice so that you can do a good job when you work on your thesis in your last year.